So go ahead.
Chicago lives up to its nickname, the Windy City. Winds of up to 90 miles an hour bring the less hardy to a standstill or use them like a Scotsman's curling stones.
Alley fight between Fitz and Combs. You both get to pick 3 all-time Sox and Cubs as part of your alley fight. My number 1 draft pick is Michael Barrett.
Michael Barrett, you're out of your mind.
I'm taking Michael Barrett. Do you see that right hook? Ask AJ Pierzynski if he wants to get hit with that right hook again.
You can ask AJ Pierzynski that.
I will.
That's such a podcast question.
Shut up.
Go to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! A White Sox winner and a World Championship.
And welcome to Windy City Sports Talk with your guy Combs and Fitz. What is going on, Fitzy?
Nothing much, man. Excited to be remote, so you're not sitting next to me. I don't have to smell you. I don't have to hear you off mic, on mic.
Yeah, I mean, look, we didn't have a whole lot of we don't have a whole lot of sound testing to do today since we're both in our own pads. It's a little bit easier this way. We got to figure out that thing when we're together. But look, man, we got a lot of exciting stuff happening. I hope you guys that are joining us. I hope you guys liked the intro. Hope you guys liked what you heard. Something we threw together. Let us know if you got a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know if you liked it. And you know, things are looking up. Things are going better. Still waiting for AJ Pierzynski to message me back and let me know whether or not we're doing this interview anytime soon. But you know, he's been talking with me on DMs through Twitter. So that's good. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get AJ Pierzynski.
He's a mover and a shaker, man. He threw that pitch and Lance Lynn couldn't even catch it.
Yeah, for sure. His pitch was a lot better than Travis Kelce's pitch. Did you see his pitch?
Oh my God, yes.
How bad was that?
It was like the Nuns pitch in the Sox game, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah,
it was bad. I mean, I know he's a tight end, but come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
Terrible.
But yeah.
Yeah, so the AJ Pierzynski thing, we're definitely gonna get that going. We've also got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, man. We got the Chicago Bulls here, locked into the 10 seed.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Do you expect to see anything from these guys here on this? No, you don't expect to see nothing in the playoffs.
For the past 4 months, and my answer has always been no. They never had a 10-game streak, and maybe they recently have, where they were really that far over 500. They never, they had 3 or 4 game win streaks, but other than that, they never really had a great patch. There's no reason to think that they can do anything now or even be somewhat interesting. Stacey King seems to think so, but Stacey King can be a homer sometimes,
Yeah, Stacey King's just one of those guys that he's always a homer. He's always going to believe in the Bulls.
I like him a lot. From the very first time he announced the game, it was like, oh, this is happening. Like, this guy he's got it. But this team, it just why they didn't trade at the deadline, I have no idea. At the deadline to get some draft capital or anything at all is crazy to me.
As my dog starts barking.
Is Michelle barking?
No, that was my dog.
It's a sex thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's just how it goes. I think actually Michelle just got back from the grocery store, so my dog got excited. I didn't even know she's down here.
All right.
Are you getting some feedback, man? I'm getting some feedback. I'm hearing myself twice here every time I talk. I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm not, actually. Look at Apple. Maybe the Apple sound preferences section will help you out a little bit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going on with the Bulls, I can just keep jabbering here for a while, as you know. You know, I mean, some of the players are coming around a little bit. I mean, I like to see what Kobe White's doing, but he's probably not going to be a starting point guard on this team when Lonzo comes back. At least I don't think he's going to be. I mean, really, he just doesn't have. I just don't think he has that facilitating ability. He can score, man. He's instant scoring, and he's fun to watch. Like, he has some really good, and he can dish the ball. Like, he does have good passing strengths. Just, I don't know if he can really drive to actually, you know, be able to dish and drive and do all those little things. He's got some length too. There's a lot of exciting things about him, but I think he goes elsewhere after the season. I don't know about you.
I think it's time for a lot of people to go elsewhere after the season. I really do. Like, I think that this team needs to kind of just they need to figure it out. They need to figure out who they're going to build off of, who they're going to build around. And they're the most disappointing team in the NBA. They got to be the most disappointing team in the. I mean, you could talk about the Lakers all you want, but this Bulls team was supposed to be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference, and they just locked themselves into the 10 seed. Alonzo Ball has been off for the entire freaking season. He's probably going to be off for the rest of his career at this point. You look at guys like Zach LaVine, who tend to take nights off, right? You look at you get Pat Bev in here, and all of a sudden they looked like they were going to take off, but then they come back down to earth, and they lose games that they're not supposed to after winning games that should actually propel them into some sort of streak. And maybe they beat the Toronto Raptors in the first play-in game, maybe, but who cares? They're not good enough to compete with the top 5 teams in the Eastern Conference, let alone in the NBA.
They've played well against good teams. They've played bad against bad teams. And Jeremiah's already checking. If Patrick Williams is aggressive, he can be a guy, but he sits around and watches too much with other guys on the court. I totally agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I thought Patrick Williams was going to be a beast, especially he comes in after the first year in college. I think it was Florida State, right? Florida State guy. And he looked great for being that young. Just some guys, I mean, it's just they don't have that aggressive gene in them. I mean, I hate to go to the main player everybody thinks about in basketball, but that's what made Michael Jordan so good. I mean, that is what makes LeBron so good, even though people say crap about him all the time. But, I mean, that aggressiveness sometimes isn't born in a guy, or it has to be learned. I mean, he turns around. What is he, 22 now? I mean,
he's 22.
Had some time, but I do agree with Jeremiah there. I had high hopes for Patrick Williams, especially when he was hurt most of the season last season. I thought, he comes back, and then what are they going to be? And then Lonzo gets hurt, and Caruso's never going to be a lead point guard, I don't think, on any team. He just can't score well enough. And Lonzo Ball, when he went out last year, I didn't know this. He was one of the top 3 point shooting point guards in the league.
Yeah, no, they've got a lot of nice pieces. They don't have a lot of guys that you can turn to when you are like, hey, we need to make a run. Who's going to carry us? Right? Like last year to a point you had that in DeMar DeRozan, because when LaVine was out and all that, and he had like 6 or 7 straight games where he hit a game-winning shot or something like that. It was ridiculous. But he's just not that guy. He can't be that guy for you for a full season. You don't have a superstar on this team. And in the NBA, you have to have at least 2 or 3 superstars on this team. Our big 3 is nothing compared to the big 3s in the rest of the NBA. You're not going to compete with top 5 teams in this league with Zach LaVine as your star player.
True, but didn't you think last year, like, oh my God, one more piece? Like one more decent piece, or Patrick Williams comes back and just lights it up, and they have a shot at it. I mean, they were the first.
I didn't think that though. I didn't with this team, with what I saw, because there were a lot of holes.
You could say that.
No, I said that at the beginning of the season too. This team to me was never a team that was going to set the world on fire. I had a lot of question marks. I don't when you start going with big threes, right, and you go around the league and you go team by team, there is not a whole lot of teams that you look at where you take our big three, and our big three are Levine, DeRozan, and Vucevic, and you put them up against other big threes, and you're like, yeah, no, they're not better than them. They're not better than them.
Who could play defense really well, who could lock down another point guard if he had to. Maybe not the best point guard in the league, but he could lock some guys down, and he could shoot threes as another 3-point shooter. All of a sudden, this team can't shoot threes.
And now Lonzo Ball is the Luis Robert of the NBA.
No, I think you mean Eloy Jimenez.
Or Eloy Jimenez. Pick any of your White Sox players that can't stay healthy. The team is made up of like the you guys are made up of like shattered glass.
You sit back there. You're so passive aggressive. You just sit back there and go, I'm a Sox fan too. I think the Sox will be good.
I know, but I like to get you going.
I think I go okay. And then you put on the porno glasses. You go, oh yeah, they're all made of glass. Everybody's made of glass on this team. But I had Chris Bryant on my team.
I put out a post.
Javier Baez sucks.
I put out a post on Twitter the other day that said Sox fans need to relax. Sox fans are jumping off the bridge.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Already. It's absolutely insane. And Sox fans are like, we need to blow this team up. This team's never going to be any good. I'm like, you're 6 games into the season.
And there's a lot of bright spots too.
Yeah, you have had a lot of bright spots.
Yes. Oscar Colas looks like the real thing. I mean, he had a home run yesterday's game, had a few hits already in this game.
Yeah. And I mean, we've also, like, you look on the other side of town and what the Cubs are doing right now. I mean, they took the first 2 out of 3 from the Texas Rangers. They're looking all right now. You got we're just talking about big threes. We've got Horner, Happ, and Swanson. The Cubs, I think, as a whole, there was a stat before today's game, heading into today's game, the Cubs had 56 team hits. Horner, Happ, and Swanson had 28 of them. So they're accounting for 50% of the team's hits on those top 3. But they find themselves sitting at 4-3, and we just took 2 out of 3 from a very good. I mean, we've secured 2 out of 3 from a very good Rangers team. We still got a game tomorrow with Jameson Taillon going to the mound. I will be there tomorrow. I will actually also be there on Monday with my guy Johnny Torres and Bill Finley. We're going to be at the game Monday night as well. So I got 2 straight games, 2 straight days going up to Wrigley.
Very cool. Jeremiah, not to back off a little bit here, but he said it's sad. Lonzo worked his ass off to become the player he became because he was kind of soft when he came into the league. I mean, this is not Jeremiah's quote. I'm doing.
He's everything people want out of Ben Simmons.
And then already the funniest comment, medium 3.
Medium 3, yeah. But no, look, the Cubs are an exciting team. I like some of the things I'm seeing. I don't like other things. The bullpen's been atrocious. The bullpen's just been atrocious through 6 games.
I think a lot of people's bullpen is going to have trouble this season. Like I was saying in the production meeting before the show.
Yeah.
That I think everybody's going to have a bad spot pitching this year, worse than they've had in years. I think is going to happen. I mean, you had a batting average of 243 last year, which is the worst batting average since the dead ball era in 1968 when they had to lower the mound.
There has been a whole lot more offense already this season.
There has, I mean, it's going to be different this year. Like a lot of people are going to have pitching patches like the Sox have had. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. If you remember, even going back 15, 20 years ago, I mean, there was teams coming back from 10-point deficits or 10-point deficits. Wait, you guys have production meetings?
Yeah, Johnny Torres chiming in and says, "Wait, you guys have production meetings?" We do. We actually talk all week long about the show, different things we want to do, different things we want to set up. We do. We actually do a rundown for the show. We very seldom follow the rundown for the show, but we do a rundown for the show, and we do. We have a
production staff.
It's us, but we have a production staff, and You know, we're trying our best here. We put together a new, I don't know if you heard it here, Johnny, but we put together a new intro song. We put together a new intro. I'm trying to work on the intro video. I can't seem to make it work on Adobe Pro though. I am so computer illiterate. It's stupid. Johnny said, wait, I'm part of the team? Sometimes.
Shut up.
So, no, look, the Cubs are. I liked what I said. I mean, they started hitting in the second half of today's game. I mean, they blew the Rangers out after the seventh inning. They put on a clinic. I do like seeing a lot more stolen bases now. You're seeing that a lot. I mean, had Nico Horner was 20 of 22 last year in stolen base attempts, and he's already got 4, I think, stolen bases this year.
What's the over under?
We're only a week into the season. I'm going to put him at 30 stolen bases this year.
Jesus.
I think he's going to steal 30.
No, I'm saying more.
You think more?
4 already? He's got 4 already? Extrapolate that out for me, Combs.
I mean, I would love it.
26 weeks in a season, for Christ's sake.
I know, but
a guy is going to steal 100 bases. Maybe not this season, but a guy will steal 100 bases with these new rules. Those
a guy like Bubba Thompson from the Rangers, who's like, I think he runs like a 3.9 40. it's like absolutely he's ridiculously fast.
They got a couple guys on the Pirates, man, who could.
The Brewers too. Yeah. The Brewers have a really fast team.
Not like the Cubs or Sox, don't. I mean, the Sox have you got Luis Robert, you got Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada. I mean, we got guys who can run. Benintendi's not exactly slow. He's probably mid-range.
Are you rooting for the Sox to win tonight with Mike Clevenger on the mound?
It makes me feel icky, but yeah. I mean, were you rooting for Aroldis Chapman, who actually arguably did something worse?
Yeah, but he got in trouble for it and suspended. Like, this guy beat his wife, spit chew on his kid's face, and allegedly,
or we're gonna do.
He allegedly. I don't know. I don't know. You know what? Do you think AJ would comment about that?
About Clevenger? I don't think that's a podcast question again, like the intro said.
Well, it's not really a podcast question, right? Like, it's a tough question if you phrase it right. Like, hey, how do you handle the Mike Clevenger situation if you're in the dugout? If you're in the clubhouse, how do you handle that situation?
You got a guy like AJ on. And you want to ask that? I just think there's more questions to ask.
I want to know how you handle that. Don't you want to know? Can you all imagine if they had the same rule when Ricky Henderson was still playing?
I mean, if he got on base over 200 times a year, because he walked a lot too. So
Ricky Henderson would have 720 stolen bases.
He'd have 200 stolen base. He would have a 200 stolen base season.
Yeah.
0 wasted movement, and he was super quick. I mean, just
so let me get this straight though. Wait, we're not backing off of this. You don't want to ask AJ Pierzynski a tough question? Wouldn't you just want to get him on here and just be like all sunshine and rainbows?
Clevenger is a tough question. That's a tough question.
Yes.
That's a question.
No, that's a tough question for AJ Pierzynski to answer. That'd be a tough question. How do you deal with Mike Clevenger if you're in the clubhouse? That's a tough question. It's a sticky question.
I just think in the history that he has in the game, that's the question you want to know.
Oh, no, I told you. The first question for AJ Pierzynski.
ALCS that might have won the series, and you want to ask him about Mike Clevenger. I wish
some point, yes.
Mike Clevenger post game in the first game he pitched.
At some point, yes, I would like to ask him about Mike Clevenger. But the first thing I'm asking about is whether or not AJ Barrett's right hook is as tough as it looked.
Here we go.
I mean, it looked like it hurt. I mean,
shut up.
That looks like it hurts, does it not? I mean,
that was such a fun game to watch, man. Those games were fun back then. They were special.
Both teams were good.
Play was like 7-8 years in. It was mean, those games were a lot of fun to watch.
And now we play 2 here, 2 there, and nobody really cares anymore, except for the drunk fans in the bleachers in each ballpark that just want to fight each other.
They watered it down. It was like just another thing that they did that, I mean, it's like listening to
Action overall.
Yeah.
like Theo
Action
Epstein,
overall.
guys that come in and they have focus groups and then they water everything down so they get a little bit of ratings for a couple of years where they're in charge. And then the game, I mean, parts of the game does get watered down after a while.
Yeah, and I liked it back in the 90s. Like when Jordan was on the White Sox, this was a crosstown classic, but they were scrimmage games.
Yeah,
they would take a weekend off and they would just play each other at one field or the other. They would alternate years and which field they played at, and they would play a 3-game series that meant nothing in the middle of the season. And the White Sox called up Michael Jordan, who ended up with a game-winning double, by the way, in that series.
Yeah, he did, right down the line.
Yeah, and I just, dude, I'll never ever forget the Michael Jordan era in
Double-A,
the White Sox.
And he batted like 220, 230. Yeah, it was a car crash.
That about sums it up, doesn't it? All right, so we've talked Bulls, we've talked some Cubs. We're going to talk White Sox as well. We're also going to get into some Fitz gibberish, but before we get to that, we got our favorite segment of the week, which is the Southside Bags Star of the Week. This week's guy is Jeremy Snellgrove. We are going to bring him on, Mr. Fahgettaboutit. And to bring on Jeremy, we always bring on Johnny Torres, our guy with Southside Bags. What's going on, Johnny?
It's AJ. His IQ is like at least below average. I'm speaking for Johnny Torres right now. Speak for yourself, sir.
Are you on mute again, rookie?
He's on mute again. Okay, we'll do another one. Word is on the word in the South Side is he's still icing his left cheek. Okay. We need a grammar lesson.
This guy, every week he comes on, and every week he's on mute.
You can't blame him. We've had some echoey mics a couple times over here.
It's true. We've always got sound issues, but now he's never sounded better though. Right now, the way he sounds right now, he's never sounded better.
All right, let's bring Jeremy in.
We don't need Johnny Torres anymore. Let's go ahead and bring on Jeremy. Jeremy, what's going on, buddy?
How we doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. Good to see you. Where are you at right now?
Saturday?
I'm in the city in my apartment, so just chilling right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
You had a tournament today, right?
Yeah, we went to a little tournament. It was like a little charity thing, just kind of that we saw on Facebook, but it paid out well, so that's why I asked one of the guys. He lives up north in like Lake County, so we went up there and it paid out good. It was like $750 for first, so believe it or not, that was for a charity tournament. So yeah.
How'd you finish today?
We got first, and then they had it was like a throw for the whole, almost like money bags type thing. It was like top scorer takes it, and we were both the top scorer. So instead of playing each other, we just split it. So
awesome.
Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we got Johnny back now. Johnny, can you hear us now?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we got you now. Finally.
Motherfuckers, don't you ever do that again.
Johnny, I'm just saying. I kicked your ass.
First and foremost, I want to thank you guys. You kicked my ass when? You kicked me out? It was you?
No.
Forget about it.
Oh, God.
No, I want to thank you guys for rectifying your audio issues. You guys sound amazing.
Thank you.
But yeah, what's up, Jeremy Snellgrove?
Nothing much.
All right, man. So yeah, Jeremy Snellgrove is been throwing bags for a couple of years now. He his hometown is St. Charles, Illinois. Currently residing in Lakeview. He's been throwing for a couple of years, like I mentioned. One of the good things, or one of the nice things to mention about Jeremy is he actually attended the Ventura, California Cornhole Festival, Spencer McKenzie's. I want to say last year, and he actually played. If I believe it's a single, if I can recall, it's a singles blind draw. You joined, Jeremy.
Yeah, so you can partner up just like we do.
And he actually was able to cash in some big money. In fact, the image that is on his flyer is actually I covered up the check because he actually sent me that picture, and I was like, dude, I could actually like mess with that account and get some money on there. But anyway, yeah, he won. He cashed in some nice money, man. You want to talk to us about that a little bit, Jeremy?
Yeah, sure. So, pretty much what happened was, somebody had kind of showed me about this tournament in California. It's basically like one of the largest cornhole festivals. It's called the Throwdown. A lot of pros go to it. Just very competitive. And we figured, all right, let's go out there. It's like a once in a lifetime thing. I'll go out there with a couple of buddies from the cornhole community that I kind of knew back in St. Charles where I started throwing with. And we figured, all right, let's just all room together, go out there. They got like a blind draw they do like the day before the tournament, and you do rounders, and then it's like a tournament. You get to play pros. Pretty cool, get to meet a bunch of cool people in pros. So during the blind draw, I got partnered with this guy. He lives between California and Montana, goes back and forth. Dan Miller, I'll never forget his name. And we both do the same bag, so that's a plus right to start. And we just kept winning, and all of a sudden he's like jumping for joy, and I'm like, what's going on here? And he's like, that's it, man. We won. Like, that was the last game. He's like, we just cashed out Q. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like,
You didn't even know?
bracket. I had no idea. So we go up to the table, and they're like, all right, here's your check. You'll collect it at the end of the tournament. And it was like $2,000. I was like, holy cow, that was pretty sweet. So that was definitely like a highlight so far. Like, just my bags career, non-professionally, just kind of playing all around. So that was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, I think so. I was telling the story last week. We were talking, and I said, you're the only person that I have been partnered up with over at Bourbon Street where I've actually gone to a King of the Hill match with. You're the only person that I've played with that I've won more than 2 games in a tournament over at Bourbon Street. So, if you could carry a guy like me to King of the Hill match, man, that says something about the way you throw your bags.
Hey, it's all sometimes good days and bad days. Definitely have had some bad days. So
yeah, and that was when I was just starting out throwing, man. Now, if we threw now, I mean, you would still have to carry it, but still, I mean, it'd be a little bit better. I might score 1 point for you this time at least.
Hey, team chemistry is a thing, so we had good chemistry.
Yeah, for sure. So you go to
Jeremy, don't be so.
I don't like that word.
You don't carry? You
Not
don't
carry.
like that? No. Well,
No, I get carried. Some people carry.
I'm sure everybody does. Yeah, I'm just fucking with Combs over
I
here.
know.
But go on with your question, Big Daddy.
I was just Big Daddy. I just thought that I was just gonna ask you. I said you were telling me before that you've played in some like pro tournaments. You'll go and you'll travel and play in pro tournaments, even though you're not a pro yourself. But you like to go just to see where you stand, and you have a lot of fun, and you like to play with them. And like I said, I've seen you throw, so I know that you can play with the pros. What is it like going to some of these tournaments and competing as a non-pro? You ever get invitations or anything like that, or guys who are pros that want to bring you to a one pro, one non-pro tournament, anything like that?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of cool, like especially the regionals and the ACL stuff. Miguel, who was on last week and stuff like that, they all kind of host those tournaments where the pros will go to it, and you can just kind of see how you compare to them, and just kind of push yourself to the next level. It's kind of just something where you can see yourself mentally how challenging it is to just stay focused in the game as well. I think that's my biggest thing, and strategic, as far as the play level. But yeah, it's a pretty cool experience. I mean, I think definitely with the traveling part of it, it's kind of like you get to see different places, and like the opens, they call it, where anyone can play in it. And that's why they say anyone can play, anyone can win. Yeah, that's the case most of the time. It's a pro or somebody who's going to be a pro. But, it's just kind of fun, kind of travel around and do that stuff. But yeah, definitely the better you play, and the opportunities will present itself if the pro wants to have you, and sometimes. So there's definitely some nice pros who always give pointers and tips or ask you to join sometimes. Like I know Nico, you guys have had on. He's a super cool guy. Not all these guys.
Yeah, I saw Nico posted something yesterday, I think it was, about a kid who was in his tournament who like finished in the final four or something. The kid's like 12 years old, it looks like in this picture.
Yeah, Jacob Gore, I think is who you're referring to.
Yeah, and
He's
he
like,
won the tournament?
Yeah, so there's like, so you got to win your bracket. So there's like A, B, C, D, and then it's just based on like where you rank. And I don't really know the whole details of it. I don't follow that part, but basically whatever you come out of your bracket and you get to go to ESPN. And yeah, this kid's like 12 years old. He's going to be on ESPN tonight. I think it starts at 8 p.m.
Dude, I'm not even as good. Dude, I get killed by 12-year-olds and 10-year-olds on Fortnite all day long, and now I'm going to lose to them in bags too.
Right? Video games, sports. What's next?
What the hell, man?
Beer drinking. They'll be allowed to drink us.
Oh, hey, that's a good lead into Fitzy's question here.
Oh, boy.
So,
cracking open a cold one right now.
Is that a truly? You're fired, dude. You're fired. I need a new co-host. If anybody else on
with white wine spritzers last week. Come on now.
White wine spritzers.
You had rum and some weird. Okay.
It was rum.
Can I ask you a question? Jeremy, it's Saturday night. He's far younger than us. He has better things to do than talk to us. Can I get to
That's true.
Go ahead.
Jeremy, so speaking of drinking, maybe not Truly's. Maybe we'll start there. Your maybe start with your drink of choice. How many drinks does it take for a Jeremy to be better at bags, and how much until it goes down? That's a Truly. Shut up.
Think that's a good question, because I usually don't like to drill it. Like, I'll casually do it. A lot of these guys I think sometimes feed off being under the influence just a tad while playing. They kind of perform better. Like people when I was in college, they used to say they played better beer pong drunk. Well, I guess the same goes for bags sometimes too. Same with smoking when they got to go out and smoke a cigarette. But for me, I would say my favorite drink, especially while playing bags, usually just like a High Life. Champagne and beers. So that's typically like casually what I'll do. Sometimes I'll go to rum and cokes, but definitely High Life for sure while playing. But if I try and have two, that limit where like, all right, the bag is going a little too far. I'm not hitting the shot where I know I can when I'm sober and not a few drinks deep. So I usually try not to drink too much when I'm playing, but yeah.
All right, so Johnny put this comment up there and said, I believe that was the last time Jeremy came to Bourbon Street because he was paired up with you. Up until this past Thursday when he found out Combs wasn't going and he decided to come back.
That's
Jeremy, is that true?
No.
Thank you.
Didn't have the modes of transportation for the last couple months. I finally get a car here in the city, so
nice. So we're gonna see you out at Bourbon a little bit more often.
You should.
All right. Well, I'm not going to be there anymore because he moved it to Wednesdays and that's softball night, so I won't be there until the end of the summer.
No.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to or I might hit up Man Cave Mondays or something. I don't know. I got to do something. But so let me try to get you into a little bit of trouble here. All right, that's kind of what I like to do. I like to get people in trouble. I've almost got Fitz divorced like 3 times since we started doing the podcast.
Oh boy!
So I need you to give me a story about somebody at a tournament or somebody that you throw. Like, I need that story that you've been throwing bags and something happened and you were just like, damn, I can't believe that happened. That was freaking wild.
All right. I'm trying to think. There was a bar league I was in. It was in Aurora. I can't remember the name of it. This was last year. I want to say around the summertime. And it was just one that somebody had mentioned me. They're like, oh yeah, it's real easy. They're just casual players. We go there and they're like the, fuzzy boards, they're the corn bags. We're like, all right, this is back to where like our roots where we started, but we're getting spoiled by all these professional grade stuff. And you're always going to run into people who still play on, the corn boards and the corn bags who know how to play on those, and they'll run you, they'll surprise you. So this guy, he came up to us. We didn't even know him yet. He just comes up. We were throwing like our lucky bags, ACL Pro Stamp bags, and they're throwing corn bags. And long story short, he's like, right now, he goes, I'll play for $100 versus 21. He's like, you got to throw the corn bags, I throw your bags. And we're like, all right. So we took it, but we're like, my buddy that I normally play with, he's like, all right, let's just do it. But if we lose, like, we'll see if he actually wants the money. Because it just sounded like this guy was all talk. So we basically play him. We win. We were shitting our pants. And he's like, double or nothing. He's like 200 now. I'm like, all right, well, if we lose, we don't owe him nothing. So we finally do it, and he went over to the ATM. We beat him again. It was $200. That was it. And then they started at the end of the season in the playoffs, threatening us like on our step over the line. That's a big controversy you guys may have heard of with the ACL and bags. You got to release the bag before you step over and all that. You both step. So they wanted us to move the boards back to regulation, even though it was a bar league and it's at like 23 feet or something. Use corn bags, give them a set of professional boards. And then we actually, one of our buddies we didn't even end up winning that league because like it was just so frustrating from this event where what happened was those same guys that we had bet money with, they ended up getting into a fist fight with our other buddies in the league, trying to defend us over some stupid result of the step rule. It was unbelievable. Guy pulled out a knife. I mean, that was the craziest story.
All over the step rule? You're gonna get shanked?
Yep.
Wow.
And
this is what
we were like
over the line, Smokey.
The guy was a huge gambling addict. Like after he lost $200 to us, he goes over to the pool table. He's running it there. He's the guy who leaves his seat up at the slot machine, so nobody sits in it with $100 in there just tapping the bet. So
yeah,
you see some wild stuff, but that's for sure. In my short time playing, the craziest thing that's happened.
Was he drinking Trulies?
No, he was drinking some IPA. I don't know what it was, but probably had a little too many.
So now we're really gonna get you in trouble because I want to know the name of the player that you are going to call out the next time that you see them.
Oh, boy.
Because you're going to take their money. They can't touch you. Who you calling out? And don't make it an easy one. Don't call me out or Fitz out. You got to call out. You got to call somebody out.
I'm trying to think. I don't think a pro because I already know how that's going to go. I was gonna say Johnny. I was gonna say Torres just for fun.
Get him.
I don't know. I think one person that I always mess around with whenever I see him, he's a pro. I don't know if you guys know Jay Rubin. Everyone else probably listening knows who he is, but we always stick around with each other and joke around. He always takes my money. Well, we don't really bet for money, but we'll do like a shot or something.
Jay Rubin, the GOAT.
The GOAT. He's a good guy. We always used to joke around when we played back all over the place when we played, but. He's a good guy, so maybe one day I'll take his.
This man has some cojones calling out Jay Rubin. Man, all right. Hey, I didn't expect
all jokes.
I didn't expect that one to come. So you guys heard it here. Windy City Sports Talk. Jeremy Snellgrove says he will take down the GOAT Jay Rubin. Oh man,
we'll see. I've done it in doubles, not singles, though.
Let's record it. When it happens, you gotta let me record. We gotta get him down to Bourbon Street.
He should come to Bourbon Street. That would be fun. One of these Wednesdays now that it is. Maybe we could persuade him.
Absolutely.
Buy him a Truly. We'll buy him a Truly.
All right, so let's bring Johnny back on here. He's gonna yell at us like he always does. About time you brought him back on. Blah blah blah. I've been waiting in the background. He's probably on mute. Probably can't hear him anyway.
Hello, gentlemen.
What's going on, Johnny?
Howdy.
Sounds like he's gonna do cool jazz. Hello, gentlemen.
We want to thank you for coming on, guys. We want to thank you for not smoking during our tournament.
I love it.
Mr. DJ himself. Johnny, he called out Jay Rubin. We gotta make this happen at Bourbon Street or shortstops or something. We gotta get this going.
Absolutely. So I commented on there. I'm not sure if you were able to catch it, but if you can go ahead and record that little call out and post it on Southside Bags.
Oh, I got you.
Jay Rubin is part of Southside Bags now. He joined a couple weeks ago, but we're actually interviewing him pretty soon. So came in perfect timing, Jeremy. Perfect timing.
I got you.
Maybe I did a little research.
A couple of things I want to mention to you. One thing, you're well known, or you're known for using your hand gestures, right? I'm not sure if you're Italian or what. People call you the Fugazi. People guys call you the Fahgettaboutit. Tell us a little bit about that real quick before we let you go.
Yeah. So the way that whole kind of started is kind of funny. So the guys that used to play back by my parents' house with my hometown, St. Charles. A couple of them are like super Italian. So one of them's Frank. We call him Frank the Tank. We call him like the bag godfather. He's like the godfather of bags. He's like, everyone used to go to his house, play all the time in his driveway and stuff. This is back before I even started playing. Jay can maybe talk to it about it whenever he comes on, but you used to go over to his shop. He owned a shop, a small engine repair shop in like Bartlett or something. And people used to just go there and be like, Bernased, all those kinds of guys. I don't really know who else because I didn't start playing then. But he always used to be like, doing this. And I'm like, all right, well, I started playing in the bags and I started messing with him. I started doing all this stuff every time I scored off and all that. And then next thing you know, people putting me in tournaments, registering me with this thing at the end. And I'm like, I'm not even that Italian. I don't even know what I am. I need to do Ancestry.com or get my parents to go through some shit. But that just kind of from there. And then, I don't know. There's a new nickname all the time. Last I went back and I played in a blind draw there with them. Instead of this, now it's Pretty Boy. So who knows? I don't fucking know. They just try to give me shit all the time.
Based on the quality of your Wi-Fi, I'm just gonna say it out. I'm gonna say you're Jewish, just based on your Wi-Fi.
It's not my Wi-Fi. I'm building. I don't know what's going on.
He's calling it out. He's saying you're stealing from Walmart next door.
Oh God.
Hey, Torres.
Johnny,
at least I know how to use my mic.
You're talking to the guy that has twins. I know how to use my mic. I have twins.
Yeah.
I forgot Combs has like 10 kids. My bad. Yep, you sure know how to use your mic.
I just don't know how to turn it off. That's my problem.
So what's up, Fitz? How many Trulies are you in already? I saw you were drinking a Coors Light also. So you're mixing it up.
I've had a couple Coors Lights, and then I went to Truly's. That's what I had left in the fridge. So
you've just had a bunch of water, is what you're saying.
What are you drinking over there? You came over with a 6-pack of Miller Lite the first time you came here.
That's better than Coors or Truly.
Coors and Miller Lite are the same thing. They both come from the same
I'm drinking Captain and Coke tonight.
Coors is not bad. I mean, Coors is like is synonymous for softball. I mean, if you do play softball, if you do in fact play softball, you should know that Coors Light is synonymous with the softball family. He does not play.
The only people that drink Coors Light are the guys who are in the losers bracket. I don't go to the losers bracket.
What a winner's side drink? Miller Lite?
Miller Lite.
Captain Coke.
Yeah.
Captain and Coke, Miller Lite.
Shut up.
Cool. So check it out. If Jay Rubin does not come on Wednesday to play you, Jeremy, I'm down for playing you a cash game or two.
All right. That sounds good. That's a game plan.
You got to get there early, though, so we can get it out the way.
All right.
Jeremy, we got to get to a Cubs game sometime soon, too.
I know. I'm going Monday. I got free tickets. They had that did you see when they had you just show up to scratch off? I don't know if you guys saw that promotion they did, and you scratch off and you get a chance to go on the field. They gave everyone a free ticket, so that's kind of cool. Monday's game, so
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah. We'll be there Monday. Me and Johnny and Billy will be there on Monday.
Oh, there you go. Well, let's meet up. Maybe grab a beer.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely talk.
Yeah, for sure. We're expected to be in town around 4:00, so we'll hit you up.
We were gonna bring Fitz, but he wears this bullshit on the show all the time, the Sox stuff, and he's not a Cubs fan, so I wasn't even gonna invite him.
Your friends on the show, you do a segment, and then they're all Cubs fans somehow. I know,
dude. We out of all of our guests, Fitz, we've only had about one Sox fan. Let's be real.
I think 2, and we've had one Cardinal fan. And if you ever bring a Cardinal fan here again, Johnny, we're done, dude.
I mean, I don't know about you. I rather fuck
on this podcast are from the South Side. At least 2, or at least the South Side area.
Yeah, it was 2.
Thanks for representing.
We have Rob Bev and Tom Gustafson are the only ones who repped Sox.
They don't know any better.
I know. I mean, Tom throws his bags backwards. What the hell does he know?
For real. I'm not fucking with Fitz. Fitz is pretty tall, man. I think he's a little bit taller than me. I'm not going to fuck with Fitz.
He drinks Trulies. I'll mess with him up all night long.
And scotch.
I don't know. He's a pretty big guy. Were you a wrestler, Fitz? Were you a wrestler?
Actually, basketball, though, is my sport.
Jeremiah's got your back. Jeremiah says a Truly is a great drink on a nice summer day. You drink a couple Trulies and clean your vagina. Very productive.
You can also douche with them.
Jeremiah comes up with the comment of the day every week, man.
Who's Jeremiah? We need to bring him on to Bourbon Street.
He's just a
He's a
fellow
White Sox
listener,
fan.
man. He's gotta come out there. He's a White Sox fan.
Is he?
Yeah, the White Sox fan. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, Jeremiah.
I'm announcing the official Johnny Torres Doubting Thomas podcast. He likes him because he's messing with you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jeremy, man, it was great having you on. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for having the time. Hope to see you soon. We'll throw some bags. We'll try to get up Monday at Wrigley too.
Yeah, for sure. Just let me know. I appreciate it.
Forget about it.
Have a good night.
Forget about it.
Hey, really quick
All right,
before
we'll
we
see
let you go, can I ask him one more question? What do you
Go
like
ahead.
What do you like to throw? I already know what he likes to throw. What kind of bags do you like to throw?
Lucky bag, surefires. For sure.
Surefires. Absolutely. Good shit.
Yeah.
Those are my new
I
favorite.
guess second
bags, too.
set because everyone's got the same color as me, so gotta have a backup.
There you go.
Awesome.
All right, Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy.
All right.
We'll see you guys.
All
Thanks.
right. Later. All right, so that was Jeremy Snellgrove. Johnny, another great interview. Maybe you have to send him some. We can send him some Venmos and get him some better Wi-Fi. But
Hey, I can't see Fitz. He's wearing his sunglasses,
We
kind of
wanna
like
go-
Big Dad. What's that movie with Adam Sandler, with the little boy wears his glasses when he doesn't want to be seen? That's him right now.
we're gonna
I
start
want
a GoFundMe
mayonnaise.
for Jeremy Snellgrove's
Cool.
internet.
All right, yeah, another awesome show, guys. Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Really quickly, we have a couple of good shows coming up. Next week we have the one and only Josh Keck, who happens to be the ACO compliance director.
Awesome.
And then after that, we are having Jay Rubin, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a good one, especially since Jeremy just called him out, and if he doesn't say anything back or respond to it, we're gonna talk with him in a couple weeks. So we'll be sure to let him know.
Awesome, for sure.
All right, man.
All right, guys. Happy Easter. We'll see you Monday.
Happy Easter, bro.
buddy.
Bye. All right, so that was my guy Johnny Torres and Jeremy Snellgrove. Man, would you take them damn glasses off? What do you think? What are you, Ferris Bueller?
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Bueller.
Crap.
You've got to talk now because now it's time to
Come
talk
on here
White
when I
Sox who
look
are.
at you. We can't both talk at the same time.
Well, you talk too much.
What to do on a podcast, I think.
So
You talk your crap. You bring your Cubs fans on. You have like a
Yeah.
20.
that's what I do. I can't help that we outnumber Sox fans. Nobody likes the Sox.
You're the only team in the history of American sports that is so wrapped up in how many fans they have. You can't handle it. You just have to, every time I talk to a Cubs fan, it doesn't matter if their team sucks. We have a lot of fans going there. Oh, really? Are they watching the games? They won about 67 games this year. That should be fun.
At least you're outdrawing the Oakland A's.
Well, the Sox are middling. I mean, they've had over 2 million fans come to the stadium every year. I mean, they're making money. I'm not worried about the fan depth there anymore, at least.
There was a couple games where, like, in the mid 2000s after the World Series, where it was like you and I could have gone there and held our podcast during the game. One sitting on the third baseline, the other one sitting on the first baseline. We could have talked, and we wouldn't have even needed cameras or microphones. We could have just had the conversation while we were there. The Oakland A's, man, did you see that 11 minor league games on the same night on Thursday night, I believe it was, outdrew the Oakland A's? 11 minor league teams.
Giant. It's not a friendly place to watch a baseball game. And you know what? I know nobody wants to talk about that. And Doubting Thomas says WGN, which is true. That's what made the Cubs, famous. And, Jerry Reinsdorf did his best impression of Bill Wirtz by putting the Sox on Sports Channel, but everybody followed in suit. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, when are we going to talk about the crime in both these on both these teams. I mean, Oakland is crime riddled. Our beloved Southside is crime riddled. That's why the fans aren't there. The Sox used to outdraw the Cubs before the mid '80s. I mean, they did all the time in the '70s and leading
Are the
up
fans
to
not there in Oakland because of the crime, or are they not there in Oakland because the team is just
come on?
They're just not. It's not a baseball city. Like Tampa Bay is not a baseball city, but they're good every year, and they don't draw either. I think Oakland's just not a baseball city.
Oakland had. They haven't had like
the Raiders never had a problem.
They haven't had 500,000 people leave. That's football. Come on. There's 81 home games in baseball. You're gonna say it's a different sport. Let's not do that. Let's not do that sports podcast, that sports talk thing where we compare sports. Although I do it all the time.
We've got so. What I'm saying is that you can't really blame the crime because the A's and the Raiders played in the same damn stadium. So whether or not, I mean, the same guys going to football games are the same guy. Well, not all of them, but a majority of them will also be the ones going to baseball games. Like it's not like a different fan base moves into a city during the season that in which the sport is playing. You still got the same fans. You still got the same demographic. Oakland was once murder capital.
You don't. Not when people leave. Look, Oakland was once murder capital, so my parents decided to move to Chicago. Yeesh, mom and dad. Johnny Torres, thank you for checking in and proving my point.
Jeremiah.
We're both hitting it.
They've got sex in the stands at Oakland games.
They used to have. My dad used to tell me stories of old Comiskey. There would be so much smoke in the stands. Everybody's smoking cigars, cigarettes, and everything. People would go up in a certain row and either have sex or some kind of shenanigans back in the day. They should capitalize on that. You're right. I mean, they
porn night.
You get a bevy. You get a harem of prostitutes in Oakland. I mean, I'm sure they just drag them off the street, give them free tickets.
Pornhub brothel night.
Brothel night.
Just like each seat comes with a hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
Man, that's not cute. Good night, gentlemen. Come on, Johnny Torres.
Come on. You think that's bad? Wait till we go to the game on Monday, man. You can't get away then.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
You can't just turn me off on a Monday night when we're riding in the truck. Can't do it.
What's your license plate number? Section 69. The other sections just block. You'll get viewers.
Oh, God.
No, how about instead of the Coliseum, the Oakland Pornhub? That's the name of the stadium. That's who buys
Pornhub Stadium.
They'd make more money.
Oh,
People will come. People will come.
Literally.
Ray. People will come.
Literally. All over the place.
The sack will be so thick they'll have to wipe it away from their faces.
All right, so let's talk about White Sox. Let's get back on track a little bit. They're looking like they're about to blow another lead here. They were up 6-2. It is now 6-4 in the seventh. What is going on with the Chicago White Sox? What is going on with Lucas Giolito?
That's my only worry, really. I'm not worried. I mean, I think in the first 10 games they'll go 4-6 or 5-5, and who really, in the middle of a season, you just be like, oh, they're having a down. They're just kind of having a down part of the season. I'm not really that worried about it. They actually look better than I thought. That lineup looks better than I thought. I need them to hit stuff over the fence and stuff. Yeah. I mean, baseballs. They can hit other stuff, I guess, if you're Mike Clevenger. Bad joke. But anyway, but Lucas Giolito is my biggest worry on the team. I think there's a lot of bright spots on this team. Benintendi's hitting the crap out of the ball. You're always worried when a guy leaves, one team goes to another, what's going to happen, even though he's bounced around a lot. But Oscar Colas looks really good. He really does. Even got a hit off a left-handed pitcher the other day. Like, he looks like a guy that could be a player in this league. That's huge. Yohan Moncada's batting .370. I mean, come on. He's got 2 home runs. Luis Robert has 4 home runs. You texted me the other day. Is he an MVP?
Yeah.
Or you put it on Twitter? I don't even know where shit comes
It was on
from.
Twitter, yeah.
It's all just texting to me.
Can he stay healthy enough to be an MVP is my question.
He's not as much a problem to me as Eloy because he's only been doing this for a few years here.
He's already had a night off because of minor injury.
Luis Robert, I'm not sure of that. I'd have to check.
Yeah, Luis Robert was scratched from the lineup. I believe it was on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Could have been
scratched from the lineup.
I missed that. I thought he was in center.
I mean, he came back in the next day. But Eloy, I mean,
guys are going to miss games nowadays.
That's a tough one.
Sports science guys play better when they have days off. That's just it. Cal Ripken would add more.
You've got to get 130 out of him at least, though, right? Like,
oh yeah, I think they will this year. I know his offseason was much different than his last couple off seasons. Sometimes this happens to young players all the time. I mean, come on, you know this. Maybe better than me with some of the injury-prone teams that the Cubs have had. Not as bad as the Sox. It's the worst I've ever seen out of a baseball team. But it takes a while for them to get used to doing the grind of 140, 150, 160 games. It does take a while. I mean, goes back to way back when where guys, they start their career and, they had a couple injury-plagued seasons. They get it now. Now they're going to play better. I mean, the list goes on and on. Kurt Schilling was hurt a lot earlier in his career. He didn't know how to work out. It goes on in a lot of different sports, and baseball is no different.
How big of a get back will it be for the bullpen to get Liam Hendricks back? Liam Hendricks completed his final round of chemo. I'm not sure yet if he's gotten the news, whether or not he's in the clear. But if he is in the clear, and we hope he is, how big of a get back is that? Does that completely change the White Sox season to get Liam Hendricks back?
It does change my calculus. Even if you have a guy coming in for him in Ronaldo Lopez, who I think will be successful in that spot, having Liam Hendricks back puts everyone back. So now your middle relief is a guy who can actually do it instead of having Jose Ruiz, who got taken off the team. It was a little scratch that kept him out of the lineup for Luis Robert. I'm guessing that's who Jeremiah is referring to. And then we got Doubting Thomas checking in again. Eloy just slipped on another banana peel. Thank you, Doubting Thomas. He's rooting for him to get hurt, I think. That's what that comment sounds like to me.
He said right into the net where he's currently floundering like a salmon.
He's done. Eloy has done that a couple of times.
Oh God,
like that net.
That guy. It's like Greg Oden in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Just a guy who just can't he can't stay healthy. Everything he does, anytime he tries to do anything, he gets hurt. Running down to first, spring training, reaching over the wall for a home run. Just stupid things that you shouldn't be doing. But this time they were trying to protect him. They put him as the DH, and then it's a hamstring. How do you protect this guy?
I think the worst thing about it for me, and Jake Berger can fill in for him. I mean, he's already got 2 home runs, Jake Berger. I believe it's 2 and a couple of hits. And he's played well in his stead, but Jake Berger can't do it over the long haul. The great thing about Eloy Jimenez is that he's a good pitcher hitter, I guess I want to say. I don't know why I just went through puberty during that sentence, but no, he's like, he can hit. I could see you. Your eyes lit up like you were seeing a fastball come down the middle and you could actually hit it. No, he can really hit, man. He's one of the guys in your lineup that can bat 300 and that could hit 40 to 50 home runs. And there's not a lot of guys like that in the league that bat right-handed. I mean, that's what's so frustrating about it.
Yeah.
Thomas says, preach Jeremiah. Johnny Torres says, it was your huge comment you made that triggered these stereotypes comments.
Speaking of stereotypes, let's get into everybody's favorite segment of the night. You ready for some Fitz gibberish?
Oh, God. No. Yeah. I'm ready for Fitz gibberish. It is another edition of Fitz Gibberish, a diatribe, a conspiracy, an island in the middle of an unapologetic. And sometimes, most times, when you say Jake Berger hit 2 home runs, which I don't think he did, inaccurate sports talk. Theo Epstein may have lost the battle to try and trick us into thinking he's not balding, but the war for baseball's soul rages on. While watching Game 4 of the Astros series and wondering why Dusty Baker got rid of the rubber gloves that made him look like a TSA agent with a sodomy fetish, I watched Ronaldo Lopez try to squeeze a 4-game split against the world champions. The last batter strolled to the plate in Chaz McCormick, a name as forgettable as his play, with men on first and second and 2 outs. The ump twirled his chubby index finger in the air to signify the clock to start back up like a bartender cueing a mechanical bull. Ronaldo Lopez must have had a lot on his mind. First, you check the runner. Then the pitch clock is winding down. Then the pitch sign with the location. He would shake off Yaz more than a couple times. Do I want to go inside to this no name? Do I want to pitch the slider? Clock winding down. Better step off. Back to the same train of thought. Wait, is that bitch checking out my buddy last week before I left on this road trip? Twirl and try to pick off Jose Abreu. Wait. That's 3 disengagements. I didn't count 3. I guess the first twirl of the hand in the beginning was the disengagement. That was his 3rd engagement, or what we call it on the South Side, a Brandon Combs. That ran the count to 3-2, and the pressure was on. Luckily, as I had already foreshadowed, McCormick would fly out to end the game. So much going on during these games, so little time to adjust. It reminded me of a movie scene. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Bull Durham with Jake LaLoosh on the mound at the end of a tight game.
Top of the 9th, 2 outs, 1 out away from a stunning 2-hit shutout for LaLoosh.
Start out, mate. Don't let up. You own these guys. Dad would love a shutout. Oh, no. He's looking for heat. Let me give him the deuce.
Oh, no, he's shaking off the suds. Big mistake.
This son of a bitch has thrown a 2-hit shutout. He's shaking me off. You believe that shit?
That was Kevin Costner out there. Watch Yellowstone. It's a decent show. Nary time to think, right? About the next move in a game. We call it a thinking's man game. Although I do like the pitch clock, it needs to be a little longer than a wet fart. Moreover, Combs has mentioned, and I agree for once with him, what if this was the 7th game of the World Series or even a playing game? Damn, if the Sox are in a game and they're 1 out in August and this happens, I might punch that fucking mechanical bull. What happened to Jake's pitch in Bull Durham?
Told him I was going to throw a deuce, right? Yep. Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry. You know, anything travels that far, ought to have a damn stewardess on it, don't you think?
And that, my friends, is Fitz gibberish.
All right, so first of all, you took a fucking shot at me and Fitz gibberish. And I don't like it. And Johnny wants to know, the people want to know, when Fitz is going to stop using his high school picture for all of your Windy City Sports Talk marketing.
Here we go.
See, the thing is, Johnny's
Torres. Wait. Let's share the next comment. Good stuff.
No, we don't want to share that.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
We don't want to say that. Look, Johnny, the reason why we have to use that picture is because any other picture, like if you angle his head at all, the nose takes up all of the camera. And so, like, you really can't, like, see, look, the microphone just moved 3 times. Like he's 4 feet away from the microphone right now, and he turned his head, and his microphone just swung. Like, so that is why we use that picture. That's what you get for taking a shot at me. That's what you get. Take a shot at me and Fitz gibberish, and now we're gonna talk about your 32-ounce nose.
It's beautiful.
So I'm with you on the pitch clock. Like, definitely needs to be longer. My question that I threw out,
everything stacked on each other.
Did you see the one yesterday that I put out on Twitter? I said I can't believe we have all these new rules, but we don't have automated strike zones yet.
No, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Like, it's insane. I'm sitting here, I'm watching the White Sox last night. That pitch that ended the game last night in Pittsburgh was easily 3 inches inside.
Yeah.
Not even close to a strike.
And the umpire
Johnny Thomas says, "Be nice, you Combs." I am being nice. He knows I love him. But
shut up.
But I do like
Get your mouth shut. Get your mouth shut, jerk.
I do like.
I like your train of thought here.
I do like the pitch clock, but again, these rules that we've put in place for the casual fan, when we could benefit from something like the automated strike zone. And don't tell me that we can't do automated strike zones, because we absolutely can. They've got buzzers on the umpires now for pitch clock and for all these other things that they're doing. We've got the pitch comm with the pitchers and the catchers. There is too much technology. There is too much money in baseball that they don't, to say that we don't have an automated strike zone yet, that we're still going to let these umpires whose strike zones are atrocious, like Angel Hernandez.
Doesn't that quicken the game?
That would absolutely quicken the game.
Arguing about every ball and strike, they're not looking into the dugout.
Yes.
They don't have to stop time. Every player isn't yelling about balls and strikes. I mean, yeah, when Tim Anderson says something's a strike, maybe I don't listen to him. He doesn't have the greatest of strike zones, even though he's been the best hitter in the league for the last 3 or 4 years. Yasmani Grandal does. I believe it. Kyle Schwarber does. I believe it, and they're usually right.
How good has tennis been at it over the last 20 years? You know, when a ball's inbounds or out of bounds, man, they can get it down to the millimeter. You're telling me we can't do that in baseball? We can't have automated strike zones. We're prone to these zones where umpires will call one pitch a ball, and then on the very next pitch call the same exact pitch a strike. Like, that's not fair to the hitters. You change an at bat, you change the game, you change everything about it with your strike zone. But we're worried about the casual fan. We're worried about the pitch clock and bigger bases and stopping guys from shifting because guys can't hit the opposite field.
How much does a pitcher have to think about now with the pitch clock and the disengagements, plus everything else that they have to think about when someone's on base? The pitcher has to think of too many. It's like a guy in a like they say, fighter pilot in a cockpit.
Yep.
That it takes 1.5 people to actually fly some of those fighter jets, and they just can't do everything at once. So they just have to do the best that they can. Like it's like takes 1.5 person's brain to do what a pitcher has. Ronaldo Lopez, who I have not a whole lot of sympathy for because I think he should have made it as a starting pitcher, but I like what he's doing in the bullpen. You kind of feel sorry for the guy at the end of the game. He has no chance.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I don't get. I don't understand it. I do agree though, a little bit more time on the pitch clock. Out of all the new rules, which one do you dislike the most? Out of all the new rules, the one that I dislike the most is the one where the relief pitcher has to face 3 hitters. I think that takes the ultimate strategy out of the game. And not only that, but it also favors the hitting team, right? Because if I bring in a lefty, I say I got a lefty and a righty on the bench. Say you got Eloy Jimenez on the bench, and say you have give me one of your good lefty hitters off the top of your head.
Benintendi.
So say you got both of those guys on the bench in a Sunday lineup. and you're in the ninth inning of a 1-run game, and you decide you're going to bring one of those guys up to hit. So they have a righty on the mound. You bring in Eloy Jimenez. So they bring in you bring in Benintendi. So they bring in the lefty to pitch to Benintendi, and you're like, nope, never mind. We're not going to hit Benintendi. We're going to switch him out and put in Eloy, who crushes left-handed pitching. Like you can't do that. Baseball is a thinking person's game. Baseball is a chess match. Baseball is a game of what am I going to do here versus what are you going to do there. Like you're taking all of that away. You're taking baseball out of baseball.
How do you even
so for me, out of all the new rules, that's the one I like. You can't.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. At least 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds for the pitch clock. I mean, it's insane. They can't even do banners anymore or reads or anything. Like it. I think that's going to probably have to change, and the disengagement thing's going to have to change. I mean, you're making baseball predictable now. If a guy even with decent speed gets on base against a guy that might have a windup that doesn't favor the catcher, it's already over. He's already stealing a base.
Right.
I mean, something's got to give here. I mean, some people say they like the rules, and Steve Stone keeps saying it without being sarcastic, I think. And I'd like to sit down and talk to him a little bit more about it because it does not favor pitchers. And it's like in the NFL. And yes, I'm going to compare one sport to the other after I yelled at you about it.
it's kind of what we do here.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like the NFL where they're favoring the offense so much that eventually the game starts to get predictable. And I hate when that's the worst sports can be, is predictable, because it's the best reality show ever made, I think, is sports. And the less the more it becomes actually a real reality show, and people are just improvising, they're not actually in reality, and the more it gets predictable, the less it's entertaining, at least to me.
Yeah. And for all you guys watching us live on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, yes, that is my wife in the background changing out the bedding in the middle of the podcast. That is the reflection that you guys see. I don't know. It's just one of those things she decided that she was going to do, just change out the bedding right in the middle of the podcast. So,
because my wife is grabbing the Easter presents out for my kid for she just gave me a dirty look.
Yeah. My wife gave me the finger and walked out of the room. So
yeah, you deserve both.
Yeah, probably. John Torres, Foxy. Why do you not like Steve Stone?
He's lost his mind. That's because
dude, Steve Stone is amazing. If you look, I love the Cubs. I really do. And again, I watch the White Sox. I don't mind the White Sox. I can root for the White Sox. Their broadcast is 10 times better than the Cubs broadcast is right now. While I do love Boog Sciambi, JD is one of those guys that is just he's tough to listen to, and now having and now having Joe Girardi, that's his name, in the booth. He's a traitor. He's not a traitor. He got fired for calling the Cubs losers, and that's what they were in the 90s when he got fired. He called them out for the way that they were managing the bullpen, the way that they were managing the team, and the way that they weren't spending money.
And he was right.
He was right. Yes.
Tribune didn't start spending money until they knew they sold the team and just wanted to have all these crazy contracts. And Jim Hendry and his hoodie were fine with it.
He's not a traitor. People like it, and I love Johnny to death, but people that have some sports takes about players or commentators that leave their team or things that they just don't completely understand. Like the one that always gets me, and I go to bat for all the time, is Colin Kaepernick. People are always like, Colin Kaepernick, he didn't stand for the national anthem. Fuck that guy. Well, yes. Okay. I get where you're coming from, and I understand and I respect your opinion. Right. But the other half of it too is Colin Kaepernick. He got blackballed and he belongs in the league. You realize that he was a 12-4 starter, then he was a 8-8 starter, and then he was a 3-11 starter before he got benched. Right? He was 3-11 when he got benched. It wasn't because he decided not to stand for the flag. He got benched because he was not very good.
He could still be in the league. Nathan Peterman is in the league.
He could still be in the league, but he's not a starter, and he doesn't want to be in the league. If he wanted to be in the league, he would have showed up to the tryout that everybody was done. But instead, what did he do? He pulled a publicity stunt and said, "I'm not showing up to this one. You guys can meet me down at this high school field 3 miles down the road." And that's where I'll be. He doesn't want to be in the league. He wants to be a spotlight. He wants to be one of those guys, and that's fine if that's what you want to be. But that's what I'm saying. Like you people on both sides of the fence, they don't understand the whole thing. Like same thing with him not standing for the flag, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. He didn't stand for the flag, and instead of sitting, which he did the first game, he sat in protest. It was actually a military member, a U.S. Navy SEAL, a decorated U.S. Navy SEAL who said, "Look, we kneel in respect of the fallen. If you're going to protest, please don't sit during the anthem. Please kneel." So out of respect for the military and out of respect for the Navy SEAL, he decided to kneel. And that is his right. A right that I fought for, a right that all the people that want to protest, oh, he's this and he's that. You don't stand, you don't sit, you don't kneel for the flag. I get it. I would never do it. But he also has the right to do it. That's the thing that people don't understand. And same thing here with Steve Stone. He wasn't a traitor. Steve Stone called some people out, called his bosses out basically, and then lost his job. And then he went over to the White Sox.
Harry Carey used to do it all the time.
JD or the Hawk? Who's better? Hawk Harrelson. A million times better. I would listen to Hawk Harrelson every day of the week. Hawk Harrelson was the White Sox Harry Carey. He was a character. He was a good commentator for a very long time, and then he became a character. A guy that you loved to listen to just because you wanted to hear what stupid shit he was going to say next.
And then he got too old, and that's it. Oakland fans are get them out. We can't kick them out because there's nothing. They won't have any fans then at all.
Oh, Jeremiah is my favorite.
Sox up 11-4, by the way.
Oh, I turned it over to UFC. We got the fights tonight. The prelims are on right now. We got the pay-per-view on starting here in just a little bit. But all right, man. Well, it's been good. We got Easter coming up. You got any special plans for Easter?
Having some family over. I'm gonna get, a little drunk, I guess, or somewhat drunk. I got Monday off. Probably going to tool around for the podcast a little bit on Monday. But yeah, tomorrow, the weather's going to be great. We're going to sit out on the back deck. I'm going to find ways to make fun of you on the podcast a little bit more while inebriated. No, I'm kidding. I hope you have a good Easter too. What's on your docket?
Cubs game. Going to Cubs game with Aubrey tomorrow. We're gonna leave here around 11 o'clock in the morning. Go to the Cubs game. We're gonna come back after the Cubs game. We'll have a little bit of dinner and then just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
What is real quick before we go? What is your take on us getting AJ Pierzynski?
On us getting
It doesn't matter what your take is, Fitz. Muted. Goodbye.